When it comes to the game of dating in 2025, things are starting to look different. You've been told over time that in long-term relationships, passion fades. But actually, the truth is that infatuation fades. Infatuation is felt in an instant, whereas passion is built over time. Infatuation feels like an obsession, whereas passion is more of a slow burn. Infatuation is craving someone, whereas passion is choosing someone. Passion lasts, but infatuation doesn't. And according to experts, this is why relationships fail. In 2025, we're too busy getting caught up in infatuation, when actually what we should really be focusing on is building passion instead. Hey, if you're new, welcome to the cozy corner of the internet. I'm your host, Christina, and I help people stop shrinking and start living. We are continuing the theme of the wardrobe reveal on the channel. I've got on a top that isn't a white tank top today. This top I wear a lot actually in my day-to-day life. I read a very interesting book recently by one of my favorite people on the internet. It's a book called Keep Love by Paul Brunson. In the book, he debunks so many myths on relationships, and one of the biggest myths that he debunks in the book is that passion fades. Over time, you're just not going to be as obsessed with your partner as you were on day one. You know, you grow apart over time. You and your partner won't be as close in year 7 compared to where you were in year 1. And one of the biggest things that he tries to convey in the book is that passion doesn't fade over time, but infatuation does.
But probably the most powerful outcome of believing that passion fades is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You resign yourself to the fact that it's going to happen and withdraw from the relationship, which lessens the feeling of passion, which causes you to withdraw further, and so on. I also think there's a widespread sense that people think passion should be automatic and easy, that it's all about chemistry. In actual fact, in order to maintain passion over the long term, you have to put effort into keeping it going. There's a unanimous feature of all couples who have strong satisfaction and high emotional intimacy. They do the work. They have great conflict resolution because they have embraced conflict and worked through it. And they have lasting passion because they realized it was something that needed to be nurtured over time.
In the book, he describes his relationship with his wife, Jill, who he's been with for 17 years, I think. And he actually kind of emphasizes in the book that the number of years that you've been with someone isn't a significant marker of how good the relationship is. Like, just because you've been with someone for 17 years doesn't mean that your relationship is like high quality. It doesn't mean that you're satisfied or happy. He says that a true marker of a good relationship is actually satisfaction, not the length of the relationship, which I think makes a lot of sense. In my job, it's very common I'll meet an old couple, a wife's coming to visit her husband in hospital, and I'll be like, oh, how long have you guys been together? And they'll say 45 years. And I'm like, whoa, that is longer than multiple of my lifetimes. How did you do it? What's the secret? And they'll be like, oh, we just put up with each other. And part of me in the back of my head is kind of like, oh, okay. I was expecting something like, oh, quality time together, good communication, always hash things out, never go to bed angry, all those different relationship spiels. Anyway, I'm going off track. In the book, Paul talks about the fact that passion is built over time. It's that desire to be close to someone, you thinking about someone, whereas infatuation, the fundamental difference is that infatuation is an obsession. It's the constant thoughts. It's the intense attraction. You can't take your mind off them. And for a lot of us that haven't been in a relationship, I know there is a lot of us on this channel, for a lot of us, we might have experienced more infatuation than actual passion. Each time you have a crush or you're talking to someone new in a talking stage, you've just, matched with someone on Hinge or on these dating apps, things are just starting out, you'll probably exist more in the infatuation phase rather than the passion phase. In the book, he kind of highlights how it's really common to get them mixed up and to kind of use the two words interchangeably. You think about someone that you really like and you want to get to know better, or you think about your partner that you've just started a relationship with, and you think that you have these feelings of passion, but they might actually be feelings of infatuation instead. For example, infatuation is the dopamine rush of having really sweet, sugary, candy or sweets. Whereas passion is that home-cooked, filling, wholesome, heartwarming meal. Infatuation is instant and it's obsessive and it's almost addictive. Whereas passion is more long-term, a deep emotional commitment. And I was quite interested to ask some of you guys what your experience is with these sorts of things, passion versus infatuation. And a lot of you guys, when you spoke about your most recent relationship / situationship, a lot of you guys seem to have, from the get-go, an immediate sense of a spark, or there was something there. Yes, we started off as friends and there was almost an immediate click. Someone else said, I found myself infatuated in the beginning, but I believe there was also a lot of chemistry. For a lot of us in your early years, it makes perfect sense to pursue a romantic connection that does have a click or a spark to begin with. Like, we all hear about, oh, it's better to be friends first, or I prefer to get to know someone and then think about like a romantic connection. But it does seem like our natural behavior does gravitate to only pursue things that seem like they have potential. By the way, guys, I wanted to quickly jump in and say it has been my mission to help people just like you struggling with confidence, insecurities, anxiety, showing up as the real you to become more confident and be more yourself. That's why I'm very excited to now be offering one-to-one coaching. I'm looking to coach and work with people who feel like they're the person that fades into the background, or the person that always has to overthink what they say before they speak, and the person that feels like they show up in a room and can't be their authentic self. They're being a different version of themselves. I currently have a very limited number of slots available, only around 3 to 4. So if that sounds good to you and you want to find out more about one-to-one coaching with me, then click on the description box below and book a free call to have a chat with me. Like, sometimes when you think about not chasing an instant spark and not trying to find instant chemistry, you think about the time investment of like, okay, if I don't feel something straight away and I'm just gonna see where things go, I'm gonna like talk and we're gonna go on dates and we're gonna see where things go. It feels like quite an investment to make for something that might not even work out. So sometimes going that instant connection is a bit more reliable. Also, when it comes to this topic of like, don't chase the instant spark, give someone a chance, embrace the slow burn, I'm totally behind this. I totally believe in it. However, in 2025, the girls will know what I'm talking about when I say this. Sometimes you do give guys a chance. They're not your type. They're not like, what you'd normally go for, like whatever it is. But sometimes there are some guys out there that just have no like intention or like mission, no like, don't want to say urgency, but it's kind of like they're happy to just talk to you and be a pen pal. Like, they don't want to meet up. They don't want to plan a date. They don't want to meet you. They don't actually want to like meet you in person. Sometimes when I'm just talking to someone, seeing where this goes, and I'm like, let's see where this goes, and it's just going nowhere. There's no plan to meet up. There's no intention. There's no like, do you know what I mean? Plans? Because maybe it is actually just the UK dating scene. I feel like the UK dating scene is so slow. There are genuinely some guys that they'd be happy to talk to you, just talk to you, like never meet up. And that's it. Anyway, back to the point. However, I don't actually think this is the way to go. Like chasing this obsessive crush that you have or you just can't stop thinking about them, like that will fade very, very quickly. And when people talk about, oh, passion fades, you're not going to be obsessed with them in a few years, like that's what fades, but passion actually doesn't. Because even if you think about it, sometimes when like, say you meet someone new, like even just a friend, and you instantly click over something that you both are obsessed with, like a certain TV show or a certain artist, sometimes those aren't even the friends that you manage to keep like long term. Like, I know a lot of my long term, like I've been friends with these people for years. The things that we bond over and the things that we talk about weren't things that we instantly clicked over. Like, my friends were definitely slow burn friends. And if anything, I feel like they were like trial and tribulation friends. Like, we went through so much and we had highs and lows together. That's why we're so strong. Given that a lot of you guys came over to my channel from the watch this if you never had a relationship video, I know there's probably a lot of you guys that have never had a relationship, myself included. And for a lot of us, your entire relationship experience or knowledge is all based on really short-term interactions, maybe first dates, a couple second dates, maybe some talking stages, some situationships, some short-term things, and probably a lot of crushes. And something that one of you guys brought up in this comment I thought was really, really valid. Are you really craving a connection, or are you just craving tension? Zaina said, I read somewhere that a crush is simply a strong curiosity / infatuation with a person. Maybe you see them from across the room, find them attractive, and now you're imagining a whole life together. I know for sure I have been there and done that, which is often based on what you think you know about them or what you might expect from them based on your observations. Having read this book, which I highly recommend, the book is called Keep Love by Paul Brunson, and talking to some of you guys, reading your comments, doing a little bit of a deep dive on the internet and just researching this topic because I find it so interesting, I find you having a crush and you being obsessed with the crush and you like loving the idea and building this maladaptive daydream life with them is actually more a reflection of your imagination than the actual person. When it comes to addictive thoughts, addictive behaviors, addictive things, they are all tied to dopamine. I'm sure you probably heard everyone and their cat talk about dopamine on the internet. Dopamine detox, dopamine menu, dopamine refresh. Dopamine can be received from a lot of different areas. Classic one is social media, especially TikTok. But you can also get dopamine from meditation. You can get dopamine from junk food and like your favorite like unhealthy, like, I don't know, cheat meal food. Or you can also get dopamine from being out in nature. You get dopamine from talking to like your loved one, your best friend, like your favorite person in the world. When it comes to crushes and infatuation, the whole reason you have the crush or you think about them so much is almost because you want more of them. You want to spend more time with them or see them more. You want, like, do you know when your crush is really bad? Like, I've not had a crush like this since high school, but you know when like even just them glance in your direction like drives you crazy. Like, you're just thinking about like, oh, they looked at me, they saw me, he's probably thinking this, she's probably thinking that. Like, that's how you know it's bad. Also, if you want to be one of the first people to find out about new video ideas and what's going to be coming up in the future, be sure to sign up to my newsletter. Every week, every Thursday, I drop some new ideas, things I want to talk about, new insights. I drop a lot of diagrams, actually. I'm really in my like artistic visual era. Like, I drop a lot of images in my newsletters. If that sounds cool, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter in the description box below. Your crush isn't actually based on connection. It's more based on the tension. What are they going to say when they reply to my message? I wonder what they're going to say. Or, oh, I wonder if they'll notice me because I changed my hair today. I wonder if they'll talk to me when I walk past them in the corridor. Like, it's all this what if, it's all this potential, it's all this mystery. It's all tension. No actual connection. Like, for some of us, if you've not had much relationship experience, you've not really dated much, you've not really done the talking stages much, like, you lean heavily on the crushes to give you like romantic entertainment. And sometimes you literally end up building a personality for them in their head. Like, I don't know if anyone else has had this, but say you actually do talk to someone you like, you do talk to a crush, you do go on a date and you get to know them. And have you ever actually been like, oof, you actually weren't what I expected? Like, I don't know what I was thinking about and what I was expecting, but like, this isn't it. This is how you know crushes, infatuation, obsession. This is all imagination and not actual reality. But the reason why I wanted to mention this is because dopamine, all the things you're addicted to, whether it's TikTok, whether it's junk food, whether it's doom scrolling, all these things that you literally can't stop because you're so addicted to them, dopamine makes you crave more. We all say, oh, I'll just watch TikTok for 5 minutes. Suddenly it's been 3 hours. Oh, I'll just have one cookie. I'll just have one sweet treat. Next thing you know, the packet is finished. Anything that gives you dopamine will make you crave more. And so when it comes to early relationship stages or having a crush on someone, that dopamine kick of the look they give you or the one word that you exchange with them in person, like all these small little interactions that give you a bit of dopamine and making you crave more. And before you know it, you're now building a foundation of infatuation rather than passion. And obviously this all depends on the person. I'm sure some of you guys might watch this and be like, Christina, this is obvious. Obviously passion builds over time. Instant sparks and instant chemistry isn't the only way you can build a relationship. Like, to some people this is obvious, and it, to me it kind of is obvious as well. But I feel like when you're a young person, you're Gen Z, you're in your early adulthood and you've not had much relationship experience, a lot of what you're learning is actually more theory based than like reality based. A lot of the things you understand and know to be true about relationships are based on what you've listened to in a podcast or what you've seen your friends do and make mistakes on. Like so much of what I know for sure is having observed friends make mistakes and like, do you know what I mean? Like, do things wrong and mess up, and he did this and she said that, and you learn so much just by observing, but you haven't learned much by actually doing. Like, you don't have much experience. So this video isn't for everyone. I should have said that at the start maybe, but hopefully it's found the right people. Let me know in the comments if you're that right person. Speaking of the right person, back on track on the topic of romantic relationship, sometimes you can craft this idea of like your dream partner, your dream soulmate, your dream relationship. And this can almost be a crush in itself. Like, you have created like your soulmate, like especially if you're someone that's into manifesting and you think about the person that you want to be with, you can almost get infatuation with that vision. You believe so much in that version of what would make your perfect partner, and you don't kind of give way and are as open-minded to like a different version, like meeting someone in real life that doesn't quite look like that or doesn't have the same job as that, isn't as successful as that. Back when I was much younger, like 21, 22, I used to think my dream partner would be someone that was like so similar to me, like so driven, so hardworking, wants to build, big things, like, sees a lot for themselves. But then now I've realized actually, as much as I would like someone that is ambitious, wants a lot in life, your ideal partner probably isn't someone that is the same as you, but it's probably instead more someone that complements you. Like my ideal partner, I'm now being more open-minded and learning. Maybe it's someone that's not as ambitious, and that it feels weird and scary to say. Maybe it's someone's actually a little bit more just chilled, laid back, doesn't grind as hard, doesn't work as hard, doesn't have 2 jobs like I do. Maybe it's someone that is actually a bit more chilled, kicked back. And it's weird because say I actually met that more chilled, laid back, not that ambitious, hardworking person, they'd still be doing stuff in life. Don't get me wrong. Like I couldn't really go out with someone that had no ambition, but they're just, I guess, a bit more chilled than I am. If I actually met this person, spoke to them, went on a date, I don't actually think I'd be like, I don't think I'd have infatuation. Like, I don't think I'd be obsessed and like excited to get to know them more. Like, oh my God, they texted me. Like, you know, those butterflies you get? I don't think I'd have that with them. So it's weird. Like, say I actually met this person when I was younger, 21, 22, I would have been like, oh, there's no spark. Oh, you know, we don't get along. Oh, there's nothing there. You know, nice to know you, but, you know, we would have parted ways. It's just so interesting how sometimes your hyperfixation on what you think you want stops you from actually getting, I guess, what you need. But with that being said, I've been yapping a lot. I want to know what you guys think. My favorite part of this whole process of filming is reading your comments. So please let me know down in the comments below. What do you think? Passion versus infatuation, chasing an instant spark versus actually giving someone a chance, getting to know someone a little bit more. What do you think about your dream partner shouldn't actually be the same as you, but they should actually more complement you? I want to know what you guys think in the comments. On the topic of meeting the right person, thinking about the right person, thinking about soulmates, this video in particular, I deep dive onto the fact that meeting the right person is actually a myth. So if you want to find out more on this exact topic and hear more of my thoughts, then be sure to watch this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.